you're here. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, the macro in terms of what you guys are seeing. And then I want to drill down into what's going on at Cafe Rio. Tell us, consumers, are they out there? Who's out there spending? What do they want?
They are, especially us. We're based out of Salt Lake City. In Salt Lake City, the economy right now is starting to turn faster than I think the rest of the country, especially with fast casual. So we're starting to see sales and traffic tick really up there, especially in the last 3 or 4 months. We're also in big markets like Arizona and Nevada, which are also starting to see a turn. I think California is still lagging behind and stuff like that. But where we're mostly based, we're seeing a really good pickup in traffic.
So what's the key to getting consumers, back in the door? You've been doing this for us. You know how to turn a brand and make a brand. Is it the rewards? Is it the value menu? What is it?
I think it's a mix of everything. I think people want value, and value doesn't necessarily mean discounting. Like people see, $2 off for this or buy one, get one free.
Amen.
Yeah, to us, it's more of we have huge portions. We feel like we're reasonably priced. You can go other places and the food might be cheaper, but then you have to eat it, right? So we feel like we have really good food. It's all made from scratch in the kitchen. We cook our tortillas on the comal. So for us, it's not the cheapest food you'll get, but we feel like you get good value for what you get.
Got to say, best marketing is word of mouth. Like if people say, hey, listen, all right, here's where I went. It was a good meal. Maybe it was a little bit more than another fast casual, but it was worth it.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about Cafe Rio in particular, because I was looking at some of the industry publications and there's headlines like Cafe Rio hires you after losing its way. Tell us about some of the challenges as you come into this job and what is it that's kind of top of mind?
I think everybody kind of lost their way, right? I think it's easy to kind of talk about this brand lost their way or that.
Because everything got overbuilt? What?
COVID really hurt. Everything was overbuilt before COVID. And I think COVID kind of reset the market. There were too many restaurants, right? I mean, I worked out of Dallas for a long time and there's, on every block, there's 50 restaurants. Where do you choose? So I think COVID kind of flattened that out. Then you had to adjust to the new reality. For us, we were 70% dine-in, 30% carry-out. COVID comes and it's 80% takeout, 20% dine-in. Now it's starting to come back, but you have to reinvent your whole, the way you do things in the restaurants. For us, we added a to-go manager. Well, now it's kind of back to 50-50. So now we have to reinvent ourselves again. We don't need a to-go manager anymore. I need a person on the floor kind of wiping tables and talking to guests. So it constantly is shifting and evolving. I think it's starting to steady out a little bit though.
Well, you mentioned talking to guests. I've seen a lot with artificial intelligence kind of getting into this sector as well. I mean, do you want the person there talking, do I want to go up and talk to a person and tell my order? Do I want to go to a kiosk? I mean, how is the business changing that way?
I think it's a mix. So for us, a third of our restaurants are drive-thrus. So in those restaurants, we're toying with some ideas now of maybe we have an AI order taker. So the employees can focus on making the food. That interaction doesn't have to be as warm and friendly. That's a transaction. I'm pulling up through a drive-thru, I'm placing my order, I get my food. When I come in, I want that cashier to walk you through the line. Our restaurant's almost like a show. You have the guy throwing the tortilla onto the hot grill and then somebody else is putting cheese on it. And it's if you order double meat or double cheese, the whole team in the back yells double meat, double cheese. So it's a really fun thing. So for us, I want to keep that element, but for drive-thru, I think you'll start to see us and other brands go to AI.
What do you think is the right size for something like Cafe Rio? And how do you think about that? What's the smart way to do it? And I agree with you. I think there's so much out there in terms of the fast casual space, and so how do you guys figure out what's the right mix in terms of the size? Where do you expand? Where does it make sense?
I think it depends on the market. So for us, we have a third of our restaurants in Utah, right, in and around Salt Lake, where there's a lot of white space there. That's our highest volume restaurants, our biggest fans, our original market. There's still a ton of places we can grow there. Also Arizona, Nevada, where we have 25 restaurants in each of those markets with space to grow. Yeah. So I think, it depends on where we're at and if we need a drive-through or not.
Who's your demo?
It's everybody, right?
Really?
So in Utah, it's families, moms with kids are our biggest demo. In Arizona, it's kind of moms with kids too. Vegas, it's a lot of tourists. It's a lot of Hispanic families. It depends on the market. It shifts, which is difficult for our marketing team to kind of nail one focus down because we're in so many markets.
What's your go-to meal there? What do you
our enchilada style burrito. So we just launched a handheld burrito to kind of have, everybody else has one too, but our real burrito, it's a burrito and then it's loaded with enchilada sauce. So it's really good.
So the Mexican sector, I mean, I'm reading here $100 billion sector for that particular market. How is it evolving? How is it changing?
I think you have to kind of stay ahead of the game. We've added some desserts. I think for us in Utah, dirty soda is big. So we talk a lot about that. It's what else do you offer that fits in that category that's not necessarily outside of the norm, but still fits Mexican, mostly desserts and add-ons and some appetizers.
I'm just hungry. That's all I'm going to go.
Know.
I want to ask about, private equity often hungry to get into this industry. And you guys are private equity owned or invested in. How does that, have they said, hey, Mike, you're here. You've got 3 years to do X, and then we're going to sell it or we're going to IPO it. Like, give us an idea of like what their goals are here.
I think for us, we're backed by Freeman Spogli. They've had us since 2017.
Right.
And they've been super patient with the brand, going through COVID and some other things. And for me, kind of come in, right size the ship, make sure the restaurants run the way they're supposed to. There is no timeline. There is no like, hey, you have 3 years to do this or else, or 2 years, whatever it is. It's really when the business is ready to transact, that's when we'll transact it. But we're not really in a hurry. We're really in a hurry to kind of just do what we do every day.
What does that transact look like, though? Is it IPO? Because for a long time, I think with your previous owners, like the thought was that an IPO was coming. Is that not necessarily
I would say
the
never
end
say
game?
never, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Not for us.
Okay. Better to keep it within kind of...
Yeah, we're all company-owned restaurants now. I think you have to franchise
You are.
first before you can launch an IPO. But yeah, for us, we're all company-owned, and yeah,
You
we
wanna
don't
keep
really
it
know
that
what
way.
the future looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've seen it with Jersey Mike's. You know, you kind of saw that recently.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the pluses and minuses of that, of the whole IPO, change in the restaurant market? What are some of the advantages? What are some of the challenges?
I think it changes the way you think. I was at
Yeah.
Bojangles when we went public,
Right.
and for you have to plan by the quarter, right? So like you may have a certain plan, but if you don't hit that certain number of store openings or whatever that number is, you really start to scramble and adjust to do what's best for the shareholders as opposed to what's best for your customer. So that's not always the same thing. Like, so you can be a little more methodical. You can change the game faster. You don't exactly do what you say you're going to do. Like we want to do the right thing by our guests, not necessarily by whoever's buying our stock, at least right now.
Mike, talk to us about costs, right? Like when it comes to the restaurant industry, we are seeing more and more things being automated, and technology plays a role. But you do have labor costs, right? If you want to keep folks certainly part of the equation. There's also, as you say, they're company owned. So there's building and there's So what is it? Like, what is it that costs you guys so much? Or what is it that's kind of tough to keep on top of?
For us right now, it's commodities. Like the beef market right now is super expensive, right? So we're
food.
trying to steer our people away from, not steer people away, but if you see any kind of value promotion for us, it's usually chicken or pork.
Yeah.
Just because right now steak is so expensive. Also for us, like aluminum is at the highest that it's ever been because everything's being imported.
Yep.
So we have to kind of look at the way we package things. Do we go to cardboard? Do we go to something different? But for us, it's more food and cost of goods versus labor. We've kind of got the labor line better than it.
And people stay?
Yeah, we have our newest district leader has been there for 9 years. So like we have a lot of tenure. Like our 2 regionals have been there for 17 years. Like the average tenure in the field is like 5 to 8 years.
You talked about cost. How much of that do you have to pass on to the consumer?
We haven't taken a price increase in 2.5 years.
Okay.
So we really try to make sure we run it. Again, we try to.
How do you do that, though, without it not eating into your, no pun intended, your margins in a big way?
Volume. We need more transactions to come through the door. So we feel like everybody else has taken price over the last couple of years, and we haven't. So that kind of gives us a competitive advantage. Everybody's kind of caught up.
There's your marketing campaign.
I think we were too expensive at one point, and now
Yeah.
everybody's caught up to us.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of level playing field, and I think if we serve the best product that we can in the sector, which I think we do,
Yeah.
and we continue to drive traffic, which we will, I think that's the way we get, penny profit versus just trying to chase a, profit margin.
It's weird. I was doing some research. I was like, okay, fast casual. What do we, what other competition do they have? And I found out that the grocery stores can kind of be a competitor for you in a way because they offer those packaged meals at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
So do you consider that competition or not really? Is it not on your radar?
Everybody's a competition for us,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not just like a Chipotle or anything like we look at, Cava's a competitor for ours. Like even QSR right now, McDonald's has a $3 value menu. Like we can't compete with that. So like we just have to do we have to operate the best way that we can and know our food, I think, is better than anybody else's. And if we operate well and we're super friendly and we're fast and people get what they want, I think we'll come out ahead.
All right, so I'm going to be your board or your private equity guys. 2 months in, what have been your biggest accomplishments?
For us, we've kind of just gone back to the basics. Like we listen to the customers, and we've taken some menus off the some items off the menu for the last couple of years. That if you go down these Reddit threads, which I have at night, it keeps you up.
Reddit is great, but it does keep you up at night.
It is great. I love it. Like if they still hate you, they can love you, right? So we've taken a lot of those items and we've brought them back. Like we took a lot of sauces and dressings off our menu.
Yeah.
We're launching them back on July 20th. So for me to kind of go back, listen to the customer. Yeah, we heard you, and we've been very vocal about it too. Like yes, we were wrong by taking these things off.
Yeah.
We hear you. They're coming back.
What are you hoping to do for the rest of the year?
We just want to kind of continue to improve operations. We want to continue to make sure our food is the way it's supposed to be made. And then we'll look at a pipeline for new restaurants coming in 2027, 2028.
What kind of?
Expansion, huh?
Yeah. Well, what are you thinking?
I mean, it'd be more
Just more.
Yeah.
Do you have a
more.
number or?
No, we don't have a number yet.
Okay. Well, you do have a number. You just don't want to share it.
Right.
I know it's just a throwaway, but I do think about anybody who runs a company. I'm always curious because we are obsessed with, the AI spend, the AI trade. We're talking geopolitics. That's how we began. Any of this that you have to kind of keep an eye on? Obviously, cost, anything that plays into the cost equation. Higher gas prices, that certainly impacts what people spend. But of the macro, what's most, kind of keeping you up at night?
I think everybody is. We're behind in AI, right? Like I think for us, like we have to be more in tune with it. I mean, I think you're going to start to see restaurants people order through ChatGPT or through Claude or through whatever.
Yeah.
Like, hey, where should I eat tonight? I should eat at Cafe Rio, and there's a button to click, and they just order, right? Like just conversational. We're not there yet, but the good thing with AI is it goes so fast, you can catch up really quick.
And you're ready to do the spend on it?
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah.
You see the ROI potential?
Massive. You have to. It's going to be part of the equation. You have to.
All right. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to say at the end, I'm hungry.
Good.
Mike,
you didn't bring any food.
A little
too far. A little too far from Utah.